Hey, what is up, you guys? We are doing a little sit-down chit-chat video today, this week, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about birth control. We're gonna talk about my experience on birth control and the effects I feel like it's had on my body. Maybe you can relate, maybe this might help you if you are deciding which form of contraceptive to use. All in all, it is a very personal decision, and I am not a doctor, clearly. Actually, not clearly. I'm wearing my glasses today. I look medically trained, right? Yeah. But I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice by any means. But I've been just realizing the effects it has on me and weighing my options between types of birth control, I guess. So it's just been on my mind a lot lately. So I wanted to make a video about it. And yeah, let's get into it. So I've tried two different methods of birth control. The first one I took was the Paragard, which was the copper IUD. I got that inserted when I was 19 years old. So I had that for about 5 or 6 years, and it was working fine. So my experience on that was I definitely had heavy bleeding at first. It was really painful to get inserted, but I do have a high pain tolerance. So for me, that really wasn't a deciding factor. It hurt, and it hurt for the rest of that day. But beyond that, it was okay. I've always had really regular periods my whole life, ever since I started getting my periods. Who knows how old I was? But I never had an issue with irregularity. So I really did want that non-hormonal option. And I was a vegan at the time. I was very into health and wellness. I still am, but I'm a little bit more loosey-goosey now, I guess. I hate that I described myself as loosey-goosey. What a terrible thing to say. We're moving on. But I wanted that non-hormonal option because I just didn't want hormones in my body. And I wasn't, eating dairy at the time either, or any meat products. So all those hormones I was avoiding. So I was like, why would I give myself hormones? Anyway, I've always had clear skin. None of those things were issues. So it wasn't something I felt the need to look at other forms of birth control just yet. So here gets the sketchy part. So after about 5 or 6 years having this birth control option, it's working pretty well for me. I'm getting my period every month, no scares, just, moving and grooving, non-hormonal, we're killing it, we're living life. I ended up in the hospital. So what happened was I was getting a lot of pain in my lower abdomen, my pelvis area. I didn't know what it was. It really hurt. This was not the first time this happened. A year or two earlier, I ended up in the hospital because I had similar lower abdominal pain. I went to the gynecologist and told them what I was experiencing. They, checked up there, checked everything. And just so happened, because it wasn't burning when I peed, which is like a typical symptom for UTI, they misdiagnosed me and didn't know that I had a UTI. So a couple days after that, maybe a day or two later, honestly, I ended up in the hospital with the worst pain. I couldn't move, really hurt. But after some hours there, found out it was just an UTI. Great, could have been avoided. So fast forward 2 years later, I was like, okay, maybe I have a UTI again. I couldn't get, I moved to LA by that point. I couldn't get an appointment at a gynecologist. They just didn't. That's another topic. Women's healthcare, awful. I have so much to say about it, but I will hold back all my opinions. If you're a woman, it is hard to get properly taken seriously. And like I said, I'm someone with a high pain tolerance, but still, people are not taken seriously because of pain. I think there's a stereotype because of women that things hurt more for us, which, as we all know, if that's not true. Also, it's just worse if you're a person of color or a woman of color. It is so much worse for you. I'm not going to get into all those statistics. Those are all things that you can look up or research if you want. I'm not going to get into this video. Back to that, I went to urgent care, and they did the ultrasound, trying to figure out if it was dislodged, if anything was wrong. And just the technician, not to flame this technician, but she even admitted herself, like, she was having a hard time reading the ultrasound, reading what was going on. Like, she just wasn't, I guess, trained enough to do that. It was urgent care. It wasn't a gynecologist's office, but you know, you think those people would know how to do it. It is a doctor's office. I don't know, I can't speak to that, but all I know is that they did check and they did do tests. They didn't think it was an UTI. I still had my IUD at this point. They didn't know what was going on. I think this time it was really that next day or the next day, that night, even that same night. It was like 3 a.m. I was like staying up because I was supposed to go out that night and I just couldn't. I just couldn't do it. I was in so much pain and it just got worse. In the middle of the night, I was just writhing in pain. Like, I could not move. Like, I felt probably the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And I waited until the hospital opened, or it's always open. I waited until it was like I was like comfortable driving. I think I waited till like 7 or 8 a.m. And again, really hurt to move. I brought myself to the hospital and I waited in the hospital for like 7 hours. And then finally, when I got seen, they did, like, you know, the ultrasound, all these checks, and they found that my IUD was out of place. So it had dislodged, it had moved. So that was probably causing me the discomfort. So they went ahead and took it out. So then no more IUD. They wanted to send me home. I was still in awful pain and they just thought, you know, your pain should be gone. So I stayed there for a little bit while longer in the room. And then after a bit, they were like, okay, you might have like an infection now because of this, so let's give you some antibiotics. So then I was on antibiotics for like 2 weeks, which ruined my gut health. I was in so much pain for like a couple more days, but it went away. It was an infection because of the dislodged IUD, and you know, horrible experience. That being said, I was not in a relationship at the time, so it was kind of fine for me to be off of birth control for a while. I was like, okay, this isn't a priority for me. I'm not having sex, so we're chill. This sucked. I don't want to get back an IUD anytime soon. Fast forward, I am with the love of my life. We are, you know, active, and it was time to get birth control. And I had been getting cysts on my, like, you know, cervical cysts. What are those called? Ovarian cysts. I was getting ovarian cysts. So I heard that birth control, the pill form, helps minimize ovarian cysts. You don't get them. And then, you know, all those other benefits of the pill of birth control is, you know, if you have acne, it can help with that. If you have irregular periods, it could help get you regular. If you take it consistently and don't do the off week, you could skip your period altogether. So, you know, there are benefits. I decided to take the pill because of the ovarian cysts and just because I didn't want to get that IUD again. I was nervous. I was put off of it. And the other option was the one in the arm, which I just didn't know enough about it. And again, because of the ovarian cyst thing, I just thought, let me try birth control. The pill. This is all birth control, baby. Anyway, I was on the pill. So I'm still currently on the pill and I've been on it for about 6 months now. And y'all, let me tell you, I have gotten some awful side effects and then some not so bad ones and then some annoying ones and then some whatever. It's been okay. It hasn't been that bad, but there were things that happened. Dun dun dun. Like a cue sound effect. Like I said earlier, I am not prone to acne. I luckily have clear skin. Like, I'm not wearing makeup today. This is my skin. I'm kind of lucky in that area. When I started taking this, I started getting these, not a couple, but like one humongous zit. Like it was like a boil. It hurt. It was welt on my face and it was around this area, like part of my mouth or chin. Horrible, awful. I think I got that at least twice. Could have been 3 times, but at least twice. They're literally 2 of the times made little like indents in my face. I don't think you can see that right now. Let's see. Getting really close. You can kind of see right there. Maybe here somewhere. Yeah. There's still like little marks on my face from these these ginormous zits from the birth control, like this hormonal acne. I'm not gonna insert the picture because it's scary, but my lip blew up so much from one of these that I didn't leave my house for 3 days. I didn't. They had to like give me an antibiotic or a medicine or something to make it go down. They wouldn't inject it because, long story short, I know how to do stick and poke tattoos, and I use a needle, a clean one, but I thought like, this was the first time I got it, I thought I could like pop it. So I was like squeezing out, I was like using it to like dig around in there, like the clean needle, but it got infected, that's all. So they had to like, you know, clear the infection as well. Stayed in my house for 3 days. That was not fun. And this has turned into a video of me just complaining. I'm not trying to. I think early on in one of my videos, someone commented that I think this girl complains in real life a lot. I'm like, you read me like a book. Acne was not cute, wasn't a vibe. Happened again here, and I was on set those days shooting, and it was just like, people thought I had lip filler, but just like in one area of my mouth. Like it looked like I had bad lip filler in just like one section of my mouth. It went away, but it took like a week. It took a long time. So it was not cute for a while. Whenever that comes out, it will be immortalized as this really weird lip filler botched looking thing that is a hormonal acne. So hey, there you go. Some other side effects I've had from the pill, I did experience some weight gain. I remember going home for the holidays and I just stopped taking my birth control for like a week or two. And I was still eating like a ton. It was the holidays. Like I was eating a lot and I was just losing weight. And I was like, why am I losing weight? Like I'm surprised, like I'm eating a lot. And it was like rapid. I lost like at least 5 pounds, maybe a little more. And I realized, I was like, oh, it's just because I stopped taking the pill. And then when I like came back and like started taking it again, it went back. And I tend to find that if I ever stop taking it, like I do lose like 5 pounds. So it's not like a ton of weight, but it is some weight. I've also just gained weight last year or over like the past year or two. So, you know, on me, I don't really like having the extra weight, but it's not the worst thing to me because I'm like, okay, if I just like eat better, eat less, I can get that off. And that's something that, you know, we're working to do. Anyway, the one thing I will say about the pill that I'm really not vibing with as well is that every time I do take the off week, and whenever I start back up on it again, I am just realizing, oh, I'm anxious this week. I'm sad. Things are making me feel really icky. And I won't realize it for a couple of days. I'm like, oh, I'm just in a bad mood. I'm in a funk. Like I feel awful. Everything's making me upset. Everything's making me anxious. I'm stressed out about everything. And then I realize, oh, I started taking my birth control again. And then the next week it, you know, it gets back to normal. It's fine. It's like a little bit of a cycle. But I do feel like the pill is diminishing it does diminish your natural hormonal cycle, your natural ovulation cycle, your, you know, frisky moods you get, your, you know, things like that. I do feel like it's like lessening things like that for me. Not in a way that like it's really affecting anything, but personally I do feel it. I also do get my period weirdly now. Like I'll get it less or a lot shorter, a lot lighter, irregularly. Period's weird. So that kind of happened too. Like I didn't stop getting it, it's just kind of weird now. All this is to say that if you are looking to get birth control, don't let my experience stop you. It's just consider that everyone's body is different and that it might affect your body differently. It might affect your body. It might be better for you than it was for me. I'm still on it. It's not like these things have taken me away from it. Like I said, my ovarian cysts I think are gone or better. I am not struggling with those right now. I think a benefit of birth control, the pill, is that it's supposed to lessen like your risk for certain ovarian cancers. Again, not a doctor. I think I've read that. But, you know, other people say that it increases your risk for like breast cancer or something like that. So there's trade-offs with everything. All in all, birth control is a really personal decision, and you should definitely weigh the options for yourself, see how your body responds to it before, you know, making any decisions, or when you're testing out what might work for you before you're deciding to get on it or get off of it. But, you know, it does its thing. You use it for a reason, ladies, and until men are forced to take birth control, we will take it, I guess. I don't think I can end the video like that, because we shouldn't force people to do anything, but maybe one day they'll realize men should be the one doing it. This is getting really aggressive at the end of this video. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this helped in any way. But again, I'm Kelsey. Thank you so much for being here. I post videos every Friday. So come back next week and yeah, get to know me a little more. Bye guys.